Welcome to Positive Minds, a program where we speak about how to achieve our goals, success, and happiness in life. Um, every now and again in history, in time, someone comes along who leaves an impact with us. That when they go, they leave an impact with us. Something to remember them by. Something to remember the human spirit. You know, the power of the human spirit. And today's show, I'm very proud to say, is about such an individual, Sardar Mahindar Singh Tooray. He's a great guy, a legendary topic which I'd like to talk and share with you. And to share his story with us today is his grandchild, Charanjit Singh, is joining us today. There's a picture of his granddad, Mahindar Singh Tooray. Um, Charanjit Singh is joining us today, and thank you, Charanjit, for coming in. Why would you go Khalsa? Why would you give up there?
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. How are you, Jag?
I'm fine, thank you very much, Charanjit. Thank you. This is Charanjit Singh, aka Bobby Singh, Bobby Charanjit Singh Durrell. Thank you for joining us today on Positive Minds, Bob. And Bob, your
Absolute pleasure.
grandfather. Thank you very much, Bob. So, Bob, tell us about your amazing grandfather, Mahindar Singh Tooray.
Obviously, he's my mum's dad. He's a fantastic guy. I didn't have the pleasure that much to spend with him. I think he was about a year old when he passed on. But what this person has left such a mark on all of us. I mean, आज मैं थे बैठे मैं थे बैठा आज ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਆ, you know, because ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਇੰਨੀ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ. Like I don't want to just do nothing and just get on with life. I want to do something that no one's done before. And not only did he do that, he surpassed that. So he's a fantastic person.
Okay, Bob. So well, speaking to you earlier, he was very educated, I understand, yeah? We're talking about the 1940s and 50s there, Bob, yeah? He provided information to people at that time on immigration laws, and it didn't matter, Bob, who you was, I understand, whether you Sikh, Hindu, Muslim, he helped everyone, you know, he's a businessman. Did he travel much, Bob? Apparently he traveled in the 50s, Bob, 1950s, 40s?
Well, the amazing thing is that he never needs to see like if the person coming to him to help was either a Sikh, a Hindu, or a Muslim. He helped everyone as a human being, which is obviously what our gurus have taught us. And when you say traveling, I don't even know where to start. I mean, this person traveled literally all over the world. He went to Switzerland. Mainly, he was focused on Europe, Switzerland, Netherlands, France, Germany. And obviously he came to the UK as well, which I believe he fell in love with. He loved it
And
there.
Bob,
So
and Bob, it must have been amazing for a Sikh wearing a bug traveling. And we're talking about the 1940s and 50s here. I mean, that's spectacular for him to, you know, go out there and be proud of his Sikhism, you know?
I mean, yeah, obviously at that time, when we're talking about late 40s, 1950s, there weren't that many Sikhs in Europe.
No?
I mean, there were, but obviously, but that's what our Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj always told us, that out of 1,000 people, you will always see one Sikh. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? That it's a day back one there that we stand out. And
Exactly.
he did stand out, and
Yeah, he did.
because obviously there weren't that many there at the time. But yeah, he did some amazing things, and obviously, as I said, he came to the UK. He decided that UK was he saw a future in the UK, which I can understand why. And then he decided that, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna bring all my family over here and go from there. I mean, he was a qualified tailor anyway. Which he sort of like made better coming here at Shoreditch. And I mean, he was a master of all trades. There was nothing that this couldn't do, if you know what I mean. He put his mind, once he put his mind to it, he could do it, and his mind was massive.
So let's just talk about some of the great things he's done, Bob, right? So in 1950s, not only did this Sardar travelled the world. He had a passion for tailoring, was it, Bob? Yeah, he was a tailor, professional tailor, and we got some certificates that show that in 1950s he came to this country, and he actually went to Shoreditch College. This is the 1950s.
Yeah.
He got distinction in tailor and cutlery in Qatar, and also he went to the City of Guilds, and that's amazing. I mean, this guy Bob was leaving a great track of success behind, wasn't he?
I mean, basically, what he did was he never put anything out. He never. There was nothing that this guy couldn't achieve. But we all look up to him so much because of his achievements, and this is just one of his achievements. I mean, when he to not only like come to a foreign country and then go and get this kind of distinction, it says it all itself. I mean, we're talking about 1950s when I would say there was hardly any Sikhs about.
No, there wasn't. No,
So
and Bob also, how did he travel to England, Bob? How did he travel with his family? How did he come
well,
over?
that in itself is amazing because he came over on a ship. I believe my uncle told me the ship was called the White Star Russian liner with his wife and children, and you can imagine it would have taken him about 3 months to reach the shores of England, and again he was the only person wearing a turban on board. My
Amazing.
uncle actually remembers. My uncle actually remembers my mama, Charanjit Singh. He actually remembers being on the docks. I mean, he was only like 5 years old, and he remembers being on the docks watching a snake charmer, and then he obviously fell asleep. And next thing he knows, he's awake on a massive ship, looking over, and all he can see is the sea.
Amazing.
So I
Amazing.
mean,
Amazing.
you can just. I mean, it's hard to imagine the atmosphere, the courage that this my nana had to do something this massive. It's just amazing.
And let's talk about the greatest contribution your grandfather has done for the Sikh community. I mean, Bob, tell everybody about this one. What did your grandfather do, which left behind a great legacy for everyone?
Well, it's something that we've got for the rest of our lives, really, because he contributed towards opening the first Gurdwara in, I believe, in Europe, which is based in Shepherd's Bush. And I mean, that says it all. I mean, you can see all these wonderful Sikhs. They're all
Legends.
legends in their
Legends.
own right. But you can see my nana, my grandfather, is like based in right in the middle there. It kind of tells you that and sort of seniority jada si because of his the way he held himself and
Education. He's
way he
educated.
came across. Yeah, he was absolutely he was educated. He knew how to organize. He knew how to speak to people and for being like. I mean, it was his idea to like let's do this Gurdwara, and it's amazing, to be to have the first Gurdwara in Europe. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And this is like not really known that much. But he wasn't a person that there was no pride in him. He didn't do it for pride. He did it because he was a person that was ekte Sikhsi. And the
Yeah.
duty si ke main apni community was jinnah kara or nahi karte,
Now,
as much as I do the more.
Bob जो तो कह रहे हैं ना Bob, isn't that so important, Bob? है अपनी सारी communities के जिन्ना से अपनी community से करें ना Bob, उतना चंगा नहीं है Bob.
Well, Seva, I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to help our fellow man. I mean, TK, obviously, most of us want to do more for our own community, but at the end of the day, we're here to help everyone. We're here to help the world. I mean, and that's what we do. I mean, you look at all the problems we've had over the past, and look at our brothers and sisters out there. सेवा कर रहे हैं जिन्होंने को फूड नहीं आंदा उन्होंने फूड जाके दे रहा I mean राज करेगा खालसा कंदे हैं
Yeah, but Bob, what you just said exactly. Everything there fits everything that your granddad done. I mean, he left his mark behind as a legend, and from being the first one in his family, you told me, to actually walk the paths of travelling because he wanted to spread the amazing business attitude he had, and what other sorts of business was he involved in? Well, what else did he do?
Well, he did a lot of. He was quite happy. I mean, he was a humble person. He had the business acumen, but he was a very humble person. He used to do I remember market stalls. My mum used to tell me that when they used to go market stalls and sell. I still remember the
That's
carpets
in
that they
London,
used to
isn't it?
sell
That's
big,
in London,
massive
isn't it?
rugs.
Is that in
Yeah,
London?
and he
Yeah.
used to sell all these massive. Sorry, yeah. It was in London, and he used to sell like all sorts of stuff. And his vastness to just like that business acumen that he had, it was always there. And now he's passed it on to his children. I mean, my mama and my uncle. I mean, he has the same kind. He thinks the same. Like, I mean, obviously, I didn't have a. I wasn't lucky enough to remember him. I was only like a year or a year and a half
So,
old
Bob,
when he
tell me
passed
about.
away. He
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
sell
yeah.
clothes and stuff like that. You know, all the latest clothes like the Beatles, Rolling Stones, and obviously they used to sell like hotcakes. I mean, he had a vision that okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be successful in that. Like so, for the perfect example is like if the Beatles just brought out a new song, he would already have like T-shirts with Beatles written on it or stuff like that, and they used to sell. As I said, they used to sell like hotcakes. So he needs to see ahead, as every businessman should, every successful businessman should. So yeah, brilliant.
Excellent. Okay, so Bob, if your granddad, Bulgy, was alive today, son, look, advice there. What do you think he would give? What kind of advice do you think he'll give to the next generation that's coming? What advice would he give to the children? What do you think?
I think the most important thing, and one thing that I hear again and again from my mum, my uncles, is that um, work hard. I mean, in this day and age, with all the technology we've got, you not only work hard, you need to work smart. But this person, like, he needs to work. I mean, hard. He knew his commitments. He knew what he had to. I mean, let's not forget. I mean, one thing we forgot to mention that not only did he come over with his children, once he'd settled down, he brought his whole family over. He brought his two, I believe it's two brothers. He brought his two brothers over. He brought their family over. You know, and he brought some of his friends over because he was quite good. As I said, he was educated. So he knew the immigration laws and stuff like that, which a lot of people over there didn't know. So, I mean,
Not at that time.
legally, I don't know how many people this person has brought over. But yeah, this just shows how big his heart was. But one of the things I do remember is that he said, like, never be shy of working. Never be shy of working. Work as hard as you can. And you need to get out of your comfort zone, which is basically venture out. That's very important. Don't be comfortable with what you have. Can you push yourself? Can you push yourself a little bit more? I mean, is it scary to push yourself? Okay, then hey, if you're like that, that's good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
That means you're doing
yeah.
something that you're doing something right. That because you don't want to just go to work, come home, खाओ roti पियो roti खाना खाओ and सो जाओ फिर सवेरे फिर push yourself to do something more in your life. I mean, community च जाके help करो. You know, just meet people, meet influential people that might guide you. And the most important thing as well that he thrived in was self-improvement. He was always like सूट साथ पा के जाना टाई पाई हुंदी सी like पग अपनी ठाठ हुंदी सी उन्हां दी पग and he needs to like chest out, shoulders back, no matter what, rain or shine. He was out there. Come on, let's go. We've got goals to achieve, and he was always like. And this I can see this in my uncles, in my family that he's passed that gene over. That there's never say never. Never. There's no thing as like, oh, I can't do this. I'm just going to do it. You know, it's that attitude of these people that amazes me. That we don't even think about it. It's like Jackie Chan gonna say, I don't think about it when I'm going to do a stunt. I'll just do it because if I think
Mm.
about it, I'm not going to do it. So these guys, my nana needs to be exactly the same thing. Equally सोच लिया, बस जाके करो. And that's what he passed on to all of us. That have the attitude to improve yourself get up every morning with a big smile on your face. वाहिगुरु दा नाम लो, पाठ करो अपना, ते अपनी like नाओ तो, कपड़े अपने साफ सूफ पाओ, बाहर जाओ, chest out. Don't forget you're a Sikh, and obviously show the world, you know, that there's no such thing as never. You can always make yourself better and better and better. As Bruce Lee said it, every hurdle is going to be higher, and you have to keep going. You have to keep going. You know, he's a wonderful guy. I can't. I don't have enough. I know you haven't given me enough time to speak about him, but I could go on forever.
Bob, can I just say something? Have you ever thought of becoming a motivational speaker? Because you are brilliant. You are excellent. You are excellent. And some
Well, I
great
read a lot
advice
of books.
to give.
Yeah, I mean, I do read. I mean, I'll take the advice of my nana. To be honest, everything that that I've heard from my uncles, and these kind of this is very inspirational for me. And you know, at the end of the day, you can't just be happy with the way you are. There's always more to do, and this is why God gave us such a vast mind. It's bigger than the universe, you know, and there's nothing in. Yeah, I mean, सब कुछ इत्थे है in your mind, and if you ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ use नहीं करोगे, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ metal ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ use नहीं करोगे, metal ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ, rusty ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਨਾ. If you don't use your mind, if you don't use your body, if you don't physically stay fit, if you don't eat right, you know, some people can't be bothered to eat properly. ਗੰਦ ਖਾ ਲੈਂਦੇ, like chips ਲੈ ਆਂਦੇ, ਹੁਣ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ. You know, if you don't look after yourself, then who's going to look after you? You're the king of your castle. You know, look after yourself. Keep your mind clean. Be positive. Don't be negative. You know, and yeah, I mean, I read a lot of books. So I mean, there's a lot of speakers that I listen to. But it's what I've learned. I mean, I'm still learning. You never stop learning.
Never stop learning. Yeah, yes, right, Bob. That's right. But just go back to your granddad, Bob. You told me that he worked in market stalls. Yeah. Now he worked in London, right, in the 1940s, 50s, on market stalls. I mean, that's
can you
amazing.
imagine that?
It's amazing,
Can you
isn't it?
imagine that? I mean, it's baffling. It's like beyond belief, to be honest. The only and you know what? In a way, I think that was one of his business acumens as well, because गोरे नंगदे होंदे सी सोचदे सी कौन खरे है, you know, and ਕੀ ਵੇਚ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਕੀ ਵੇਚਦੇ ਪਏ ਆ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੀਏ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਏ ਆ. And you know, I mean, the guy was a genius, man.
And also, you said that he was a part of the Shepherd's Bush group of people who, and in that picture, he looks really smart. He looks shining, man. He was always to the T.
Oh my God, yeah.
You can tell he's a tailor. You can tell by looking at him.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's passed on, like, to most of the community. अपने look after करो, like, you know, dress properly. Look, pag dekho enadi, you know, I mean, tie pai, you know, I mean, suit, pant, you know.
And
I mean,
they all look amazing, Bob. They all look so smart.
Yeah, I mean, he's most really passed it on to them. He's just like, look, even though they just come into the Gurdwara, आजकल तुसी देखो मुंडे पटके पाके आ जांदे, t-shirt pajame पाए होंदे, tracksuit. And you know, look at these guys. Look at all of them. Look, suit saat, pant punt. You know what I mean? Tie pai, pag any thought pai. You know what I mean? Look how amazing they look. And
amazing presentation. Amazing presentation.
Yeah, I mean, you're presenting yourself to the world, aren't you?
and that's what this group of people did, Bob. And that's what this group of people did, Bob. I mean, they left something behind for all of us to remember them by, you know. And now it's our job to go forward and make sure, like you said earlier, Bob, is to make sure that we do the same thing for our communities, you know. I
mean, I absolutely correct. I mean, I do. I would class myself as one of the lucky ones where I have made that a priority to be presentable, be positive, look after myself, and I've passed it on to my children, who are like just absolutely the same. They're absolutely amazing. I mean, they've both done a degree. I mean, they study well. They look after themselves. I mean, my son, he lives in the gym, literally. Eats right, you know. My daughter, she's so jolly, lovely person. and my wife, of course, educated to the highest level. It's what your parents teach you, and then you pass it on
Yes,
to your
yes,
children. And if you
yes,
can keep doing that, then there's hope for us.
yes, yeah.
If
That's right. Exactly, Bob. Exactly.
you've got to instill into your children these beliefs, these wonderful जो गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी लिखा है that all these look after yourself, अपने बानी पढ़ो, सवेरे उठ के जपजी साहब नहा धो के जपजी साहब करो, नितनेम करो, all these things they're there for a reason, because कहते जो तुसी जरा कहते जरा बंदा पूरी गुरु ग्रंथ साहब पढ़ लेना, he will never be upset in his life and understands it. If he can understand it word for word, it can't happen overnight. It takes time. If you can understand every word in the Guru Granth Sahib, which is bestowed onto us by our Maharaj, Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj, if you can understand it, you will never have any problems in your life. And it's very important for us to explain to our children and to them to explain to their children the value of these things. And if we can do that, then there's hope for us, There's hope for us.
So excellent, Bob. Excellent, Bob. That is superb, Bob. That's a great message for the people out there, Bob. Thank you very much, Bob. Bob, I'd just like to say, you said earlier on about that, don't ever say to yourself, Darnana, Agirjawo, go and see, what the world is like outside there. They say traveling widens your mind's horizons. I mean, let's go back to your granddad here,
Yeah.
right? So if you'd have said to himself, right, he would have never done nothing in his life, right?
Huh?
Not only
Yeah.
not only did he want to become a tailor, he wanted to go and study in London. Okay.
I
He
know.
wanted to go to the best school, the
It's
best
baffling.
school in the whole entire uni, to educate,
Yeah.
So, no, anyone can do a tailoring
Yeah.
course in India, but we know that. But he said, no, man,
Yeah.
London jaake karna because I want to be the best. I want to be taught by the best.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's baffling. I mean, we're talking about between 1950 and 1956, and you can imagine what the world was like. You can imagine what London was like. And he said, no, it doesn't bother me. मैं जो करना मैं वही करना है. मैं अपने set कर लिया, पत्थर दी लकीर बना दी है. You know what I mean? And that's so important. I mean, if you can say to yourself that मैं करना है, and write it down in stone. There's nothing in your mind. Your mind will actually work towards that. If you tell yourself, "Oh, आज मैं कुछ नहीं करना, मैं बहना आज TV देखना है," your mind will set that up for you. If you tell yourself, मैं सारी दुनिया देखनी है, your mind will find ways
Yeah.
for you to achieve that. It's
So
just
true, Bob. That's
it's
amazing,
how
Bob.
positive you need to. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm fascinated by psychology of the mind and stuff like that. I mean, what we got in between our ears is a gift from God, And if you don't use it, you're gonna waste it. So don't waste it. You only get one
Yeah.
chance, man.
Yeah. And your grandfather, Mahindar Singh Tooray, when he had that chance of walking this planet, man, did he make the most of it, huh? And he would become a tailor,
I don't
not
think
even
he could
like
have done more.
business.
Yeah, I don't think he could have done more than he did. I mean, but then again, there wasn't enough for him. I personally think he was still not satisfied, and that's how it should be. You don't ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਲੰਡਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਟੇਲਰ ਦਾ ਕੋਰਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਣੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ ਫਿਰ ਬਿਜ਼ਨੈਸਿਸ ਖੋਲਣੇ ਆ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੈਟਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਘੁਰ ਲੈਣੇ ਆ ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਹੁਣ ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂ
The market stalls then came up.
Yeah. It's always what is the next thing for me to do now?
Gurdwara
And
kholiye,
this is
chalo
where,
Gurdwara kholiye.
yeah, unfortunately, that he passed away at an early age. I mean, he was only, I don't believe he was that old when he passed away, unfortunately. But I can imagine if he lived longer, oh my goodness, what he would have done.
Well, the thing is, Bob, all I know is, Bob, these legends walk the earth, Bob, right? They leave us a lesson behind. Leave us a message behind. And with your grandfather, the message is loud and clear, and you couldn't have said it any better. The message is, don't sit in the circle, spread your wings, yeah. Go out there and move the mountains, yeah. Move, like you said.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people. I love saying one thing to my children, and I say to them, "How do you move a mountain?" And they say, "A
yeah,
rock at a time." You know,
yeah, yeah.
and that is the that's the best way to
I
move a
mean,
mountain. And you,
these kind of things that you're saying, they a lot of people, if you can grasp what you, I mean, what you just said, it's it's like it's amazing if you can grasp it what that means, and that's all it is. I mean, just take the steps, keep taking the step. We're not asking you to climb the mountain in one jump.
yeah,
We just
yeah, yeah,
just take one step at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. Yeah, don't make your goals big. Make them small but achievable. As you move along, you make them bigger and bigger and bigger. Because your mind, by the time you reach, say, from here to here, your mind is now accepting that, and you can
yeah,
move forward. But don't do it in one shot. That
yeah,
मैं gym च जाके मैं 2 घंटे करने हैं, and then you've never been in the gym. You know,
yeah, yeah,
you'll
yeah.
get overwhelmed.
Bob, I can go on listening to you forever, man. So thank you very much for coming on the show today, Bob. It's been great, and you've been very inspirational to people out there. Thank you very much, Bob. Guys, out there is my book, Unbreakable, available on Amazon. And also, you can follow me on Twitter at jagsing_I can. Thank you very much, Bob, for coming in. Thank you very much for tuning in.
You're
Until the next
welcome.
time.
Why would you casa? Why
Thank
would
you.
you give
Bye,
a
bye, bye, bye.